Hi, I'm Frank Yanis, Deputy Commissioner for the Office of Food Policy and Response at the FDA. I'm excited to introduce you to the winners of our low to no cost tech-enabled food traceability challenge. We launched this challenge in June as part of FDA's new era of smarter food safety. Being able to rapidly trace and identify the source of a contaminated food is critical to public health. But for food traceability solutions to scale across the entire food system, we need cost-effective solutions for food producers of all sizes, including small and medium enterprises. So, we asked solution providers to develop innovative and creative financial models that would encourage widespread adoption of food traceability systems for both human and animal food operations of all sizes. And our call to action was answered in a big way. In fact, we received 90 submissions from all over the world, with the winning teams representing the US, Canada, and New Zealand. The winning submissions are smart, they're impactful, they cover the entire food continuum and a range of use cases. They also use a variety of approaches, platforms, and technical designs. Factors that distinguish the winning solutions include their practicality in ways that do not require the user to be tech-savvy, and their use of accessible software and platforms that are already familiar to many stakeholders. The bottom line is that FDA's new era of smarter food safety initiative strives to achieve end-to-end traceability throughout the entire food system. We're excited to see how these winners will help us achieve a more digital, safer, and traceable food system that benefits consumers, food producers, and the planet. I congratulate the winners and look forward to seeing the impact of their important work for years to come.
Thank you to the FDA, and congratulations to each of the winners and participants. We're honored to be recognized. OpsSmart's submission is the coming together of two great companies, Avery, Dennison, and MasterCard. So a big thank you to the OpsSmart Connected Product Cloud team at Avery Dennison and the MasterCard Providence and Enterprise Partnership teams. Together, we offer low-cost, item-level, blockchain-enabled traceability from farm to fork. OpsSmart works by connecting and creating unique digital identities for each individual item and associating that unique digital ID with the digital triggers that can go onto products, from QR codes and NFC tags to UHF, RFID, and Bluetooth sensors. By bridging the physical and digital worlds, item-level visibility is now possible. So from growers to grocers and farm to fork, each time a physical item is read or interacted with, a new event can be captured in OpsSmart. We're enabling things like raw material traceability or real-time temperature monitoring, and the ability for retailers, restaurants, and consumers to authenticate produce, react to recalls faster, and manage product expiry. All of this data can be integrated into existing systems, like an ERP or point of sale, and can even be delivered to consumers via web and mobile experiences, which we'll demo in a minute. And when I talk about item-level events being captured in OpsSmart's Connected Product Cloud, here's an example of the types of GS1 EPCIS standard events that are generated at each step of the supply chain. And each of those events gets stored on OpsSmart's Connected Product Cloud, and then they can be written to the MasterCard Providence blockchain to enable the ability to store critical tracking events on an immutable ledger. And then we can use that ledger to verify provenance all the way through to the consumer. This combination of digital triggers, OpsSmart's Connected Product Cloud, and MasterCard Providence meet the criteria for this challenge by bridging the physical and digital gap for every item in the food supply chain, and doing so with disruptive, intuitive technologies, enabling the Internet of everyday things and the future of trusted transactions. Because of OpsSmart's pay-as-you-go pricing model, it avoids expensive upfront costs to implement item-level traceability and offers a library of standard APIs to seamlessly integrate existing systems across the entire supply chain, offering flexibility and scalability. Now, if you scan the QR code on the slide with your smartphone, you can now see how everything comes together for the consumer, using digital triggers to connect the consumer from the physical world to the digital world, then using the data stored in OpsMyO and verified by MasterCard Provenance to offer an entirely new level of visibility and engagement. Truly a new era for the entire food ecosystem. Thank you again, and here's a video showing you more details about OpsMyO.
Avery, Dennison, and MasterCard, the global leaders in digital identification and payment innovation, have come together to provide item-level traceability with blockchain-enabled provenance to each participant in the food supply chain, from source to store and from farm to fork. The Avery Dennison MasterCard food traceability solution consists of 4 components. First is ATMA.io, Avery Dennison's connected product cloud, a platform for creating, managing, and assigning unique digital identities for individual items. Second, Avery Dennison's progressive family of digital trigger technologies, which includes QR codes, battery-free Bluetooth sensors, NFC and UHF RFID tags linking the physical and digital worlds. Third is Provenance, MasterCard's highly scalable blockchain solution for storing the item-level events captured by ATMA.io into a distributed ledger, offering an immutable chain of information and an added layer of trust in the supply chain. And finally, MasterCard's world-leading transaction network for faster and smarter payments. Within a supply chain, farmers can leverage a digital birth certificate created by ATMA.io and stored in MasterCard Provenance as a guarantee to trading partners, retailers, restaurants, and consumers, even in case of a product recall, thereby increasing the value of their goods and negotiating power. Manufacturers, processors, and distributors can all monitor the freshness of goods throughout the production process, reducing food waste and excess inventory. And retailers and food service providers can ensure the entire end-to-end journey of a product at the item level, enabling more efficient and faster recall management, greater inventory accuracy, reduced waste, and an opportunity to use the food product as a new interaction point with their consumer. Each item-level event is tracked in ATMA.io and subsequently written to MasterCard Provenance. With ATMA.io, producers can automatically feed in product attribute information for each SKU, like weight, price, and shelf life. Leveraging sensors like Wiliot Bluetooth low-energy technology produced by Avery Dennison, ATMA.io captures real-time temperature along with all of the EPCIS event data for the individual product to chronicle the what, where, when, and why of every step. Moreover, parties can view and receive alerts in the event of item outliers. ATMA.io's connected product cloud drives compelling consumer experiences and increases transparency and food safety. When Jess scans the QR code on the pack of wild salmon at the grocery store, she gets to engage with the product to learn more about its complete journey, from sourcing and sustainability policies to nutritional and health-related information. Jess can also access a sequence of all critical events tracked and recorded by ATMA.io and authenticated by MasterCard Provenance. After purchase, Jess scans the same QR code, but this time, recognizing that it has been purchased, receives a different experience. Based on real-time data pulled from ATMA.io about best buy date and the latest product recall information. In case of a food safety issue, Jess gets a real-time push notification alerting her to the issue, in this case, a recall, while providing clear next steps. Affordable, scalable, end-to-end food traceability at the item level, made possible by Avery Dennison, ATMA.io, and MasterCard Provenance, ushering in a new era for safe, sustainable food for consumers.
Hi, my name is Grace Mohan. I am presenting for my company, HeavyConnect. So we provide cloud-based digital compliance documentation solutions for the food supply chain. Primary producers use our solution to manage all types of standards compliance, including traceability. We were founded in 2015 in Salinas, California, but we have a global presence now with 32 team members and customers in every region of the United States and also Central and South America. So the first step in traceability is capturing accurate information at the field level where food is grown. And then that data needs to be shared throughout the food supply chain in order to reach the end consumer. Food producers need a tool to help them get data out of the field in a real-time, accurate, and secure way that doesn't add to their burden. So historically, that was done with paper record keeping, but paper is prone to errors, and there's also often a loss of information between the field and the office. Other traceability platforms are optimized more for office administrators, and they don't take real-life field conditions into account. So producers need an easy-to-use and scalable solution to capture data accurately. That's what our app is optimized for. It was built for data capture in real-life field conditions, and we did this by developing it over 5 years with input from crew leaders, foremen, and managers. And that looked like literally getting our software developers out in the field, alongside lettuce harvest crews, really getting into it and hearing what they needed. And you'll see in a minute a presentation by my coworker, Francesca, and she's going to show exactly what makes the app easy to use. Here is how we met the challenge requirements. So first, our app is actually based on a real need, and we have heard that from food producers over 5 years of working alongside them. Second, it's innovative. Our product team designed it specifically for ground-level data collection, and it also supports every other type of standards compliance, which streamlines our customers' teams and workflows. So they can use this for food safety, worker safety, and also traceability. Third, it's easy to use, and that's reflected by our Net Promoter Score of 94. Fourth, we are affordable for all sizes of operations, and that's because our cost scales based on how many users you have. And finally, our solution plays well with others by offering verified APIs and customizable output files, which allow our customers to own and control their data and share it however they want to. Thank you to the Precision FDA team for selecting our solution. We're really honored and excited to be presenting here alongside this great lineup. You can learn more about our solution at HeavyConnect.com or get in touch with us at contact@HeavyConnect.com. And I will turn things over to Francesca to show you how the app and dashboard work.
Hello, my name is Francesca Valeris, and I'm the Product and Growth Specialist at HeavyConnect. HeavyConnect provides cloud-based digital compliance documentation solutions for the food supply chain, and our target audience as a traceability solution is primary producers. We understand it can be a challenge for them to get accurate first-mile traceability data from the field to the office, where they can then send it on to the rest of the food supply chain. What you're looking at here is the entire HeavyConnect platform. On the left is the mobile app, which is mirrored from my phone. This is the primary tool for data collection and optimized for real-world field conditions. On the right is the dashboard. This is a place where managers can view all of this data coming in and access necessary information in real time. I'm going to focus first on the app. As I mentioned, this is designed for field use. Everything from these icons who help folks with low literacy levels, to the app functioning both in English and Spanish, to bright colors that can be seen in direct sunlight, and each checklist following a simple step-by-step process is designed for in-field usage. I'm going to fill out a report and start in the GMP module here. To begin, I'll press the big blue plus button on the right, and we're going to fill out the produce packing log. On the first section, we're automatically capturing the name of the person that's filling out the report, the time and date, and we're allowing the user to select their location by dropdown. We're also dropping this GPS pin so we can see where exactly this report is being filled out in the field. When I click Next, it brings me to the body of the checklist. Here, I can use my number pad to input the pallet number. I can tie to my employee database for my pack supervisor question, tie to drop-downs for size, scan QR codes, which we can bring up here, use checks or X's for yes or no questions, type additional notes if necessary, and tie to my customer dropdown here. You'll notice I also have this handy clipboard where I can add any additional detail needed, indicate a severity level if there is one, add comments, and take photos. The final step is capturing the signature of the person who's filling out the report. And everything I've done up until this point can be done without access to Wi-Fi or data. Where you'll need the connectivity is to sync. Now we're transferring this information from the app through the cloud to be available to the manager on the dashboard. So let me close this out. And I'll pull up the dashboard. Here you'll see we have this handy summary page where I can see report type by severity level, severity over time, and as well severity by location. If I pull up my map view, I can see where exactly these reports are being filled out. I have my colleagues in California and me over here. Just refresh here. On the East Coast. And I can see I filled out this produce packing log here. So I can get report and see the PDF version. I have my comments, photo, the answers to all of my questions, signature at the bottom, and all of this necessary information at the top. Another view is through this list view, where managers can go in and actually add comments to these reports. They can see photos, comments, and they have a review step here. They can also include additional documentation that we can tie from our binders, which is our cloud storage, as well as just uploading it from the computer. This has now been reviewed, and I have this handy check mark to tell me so. Growers need an easy solution to collect accurate traceability data in the field that doesn't add an additional burden or high cost. HeavyConnect is optimized to improve their workflows and make it as easy as possible to collect accurate data in the field that can then flow through the rest of the food supply chain. Thank you so much.
Hi everyone, my name is Abdullah Yusuf. It's an honor to present to you all. Our team is made up of Precise Software Solutions and our partners Incesso and Rarenetics. We've been providing solutions in the traceability space for the last 8 years and in the federal government space for the last 15. We're not only providers of an integrated end-to-end traceability solution, but we also serve as our clients' food safety technology partners. Our platform already processes 100 million events per month and has 30,000 registered users, and we look forward to bringing you all on board. Our solution consists of 4 parts. Our enterprise traceability solution, Tracky, provides end-to-end supply chain tracking using EPCIS standards. Our analytics and reporting platform, Sherlock, connects with Tracky and uses machine learning to generate reports and can even perform root cause analysis in cases of anomalies in the supply chain. Our Eniot IoT devices, which are affordable sensors, track temperature and humidity data to guarantee ideal conditions for your product. And finally, our consumer mobile application, SafeBite, not only allows consumers to view the history and story of the products they consume, but it's also capable of issuing recall alerts. Our solution is unique because everyone can utilize it according to their own use cases. All of our tools can be used independently, but they also all function seamlessly together to provide one solution that facilitates traceability from farm to table to recalls, and everything in between for all sectors. Our use of IoT sensors adds a new dimension to food safety, enabling our users to prevent outbreaks and maintain their standards. And to make things easy for those users that have a lot of physical documents, we use AI and machine learning to automatically scan and extract key information, even from handwriting, so that it's an easy switch to go digital. We also provide an API that can work with third-party applications to translate EPCIS data to the CTE and KDE reports being introduced by the FDA. And finally, we never want money to be a reason why someone doesn't have access to the best in food safety. So we offer pricing models that go from free tiers to enterprise. We designed our solution specifically to on-ramp everyone in all corners of the food market to a new era in smarter food safety. In the video that follows, you'll see all of our tools in action. And I suggest you all have your phone cameras ready. For a small surprise, I'll just give you a little taste of our solution. We really look forward to working with all of you, so please feel free to reach out at the email that's displayed at the end of the video. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy. The Precise team's suite of traceability tools provides a solution for every company size, market category, and supply chain segment. Here we see a tomato farmer using our enterprise solution, Tracky, to create a commissioning event using the mobile app on the field, and printing a scanning sticker for the lot using our off-the-shelf portable printers. Tracky provides both mobile and web user interfaces that support GS1 EPCIS standards and FDA CTE KDE reporting support. Our tools also speak your language by offering multilingual capabilities. This olive farmer and olive oil producer in Italy uses Tracky to generate labels and uses our Eniot IoT devices to monitor quality as they are exported to the USA and packs away her lot with a handwritten shipping label. Back in the USA, our Sherlock reporting APIs seamlessly integrate with Tracky to scan and read the handwritten shipping label using machine learning. Sherlock interprets, transforms, and stores the data in Tracky. Say goodbye to manual data entry. Tracky and Sherlock support all GS1 EPCIS events and can integrate into manufacturing execution systems and enterprise resource planning systems to automatically generate events and record data throughout the supply chain. This, combined with cryptographic security on our printed labels and our Eniot environmental sensors, allows for layers of information for food traceability and additional quality standards that can operate all the way down to item level accuracy. Pause the video here and scan this QR code with your phone's camera to see for yourself the efficiency and ease with which anyone can use our tools. Our security layers jump into action by proactively monitoring the supply chain. When we detect a fake barcode and source of product, substandard food is prevented from getting to the consumer. Or when accidents happen in the supply chain, we alert our users to prevent their food products from spoiling. Our suite of tools also includes our live application, SafeBite, which can give consumers an ability to verify the supply chain of their food and know the story and source of the nutrition they are consuming. In the event of a retailer being recalled, Tracky allows the user to fully map their supply chain and carry out root cause analysis, then utilize Sherlock's reporting APIs to generate CTE KDE reports with just a click of a button. But Sherlock not only makes the lives of Tracky's user base easy, it works great for low-tech, no-tech users by allowing them to generate reports direct from handwritten and printed forms. Not only that, with interoperability in mind, Sherlock can be used by the users of and integrated into any third-party traceability solution using GS1 EPCIS and enable CTE KDE report creation. Finally, the FDA can also use SafeBite to issue live recall notifications to consumers so that they can stay aware and up to date with the latest in food safety, making the recall process easy and efficient for everybody here in the USA and wherever US products are consumed. We know food safety is the right of every person, and we believe that the Team Precise family of traceability solutions enable every member of our food supply, no matter how small or large, to ensure the safety of everyone in our country.
Hello, my name is Mark Kaplan. I'm co-founder and a partner of Wholechain. I'd like to start by thanking the FDA for its leadership in traceability and conducting this event, and to congratulate the other winners on their achievements as well. At Wholechain, we're a group of partners who have come together across industries, initially to create a sustainable sourcing company in which we built Wholechain. So we use Wholechain both as a developer and as a user itself. We won the FISH 2.0 award at Stanford University and have been listed among the top blockchain programs in the world, together with our partners at MasterCard. Wholechain works with a traceability application for supply chains, an enterprise dashboard that institutional supply chain stakeholders use, like ourselves. And you can see here in the consumer application a picture of the seafood bag for the program that we started working in sourcing. The solution itself is low cost and simple to use. Producers can use any device, well, anyone can use any device across the supply chain to collect data and share it with others across the supply chain. So from producer to processor to distributor to retailer, and using any device. The records are then stored on the MasterCard blockchain before they can be shared with industry certifiers or other GS1 compliant data platforms. To meet the market need, and this is how the solution met the challenge criteria, we extended Wholechain beyond the supply chains that we work in, created it as its own company in partnership with MasterCard to enable to have tech-enabled traceability across commodities and neutral to the underlying technology. So we've worked with everyone from Topco Associates to help modernize their retail, to Aveda, to Thai Union. So everything from vanilla to seafood has been traced using Wholechain. We've won some awards and innovation, so as I mentioned, FISH 2.0. We've also created some first-to-world capabilities like real-time verification of data sharing with the best aquaculture practice, and then focused a lot on interoperability with GS1 and the Global Dialogue on Seafood Traceability. We have a big focus on usability, focused on initially with digital identity at the first mile, some multi-device and API access for people to use any kind of technology that they already have, and we require no hardware or app downloads to use the system. From an affordability standpoint, the system to use is free for farmers or fishers, as well as consumers, with we've seen a below market price for any enterprise users. From a scalability and interoperability standpoint, as I mentioned earlier, the system is interoperable with the EPCIS and digital link standards at GS1. You can see some of the companies that we've worked with on the slide here. And then at this point, we've scaled the system across over 15 commodities, across 5 continents and 3 languages. And now what I'll do is I'll transition to a video that will help bring this thing to life. Thank you.
Okay, I'll go. I mean, it's pretty easy for me, actually. So with Wholechain, we were able to enable a highly secure supply chain across 24 states in India, spanning over 2,200 clinics.
That's nuts.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
That's the biggest business too. Yeah.
When we created Wholechain, we focused on creating a traceability system that was inexpensive and simple to use, bringing technology into the hands of everyone from the farmer and fisherman to the sales rep. Our solution is designed for access across industries and a variety of supply chain needs, helping companies deliver on their promises to consumers of end-to-end traceability and transparency. First, we started with seafood and built a traceable seafood supply chain for Topco's Full Circle Market brand. We wanted to show people that sustainable seafood isn't just a label on a package, but sustainable is also traceable, verifiable, and affordable. But don't take it from us.
My name is Ben Blakey.
Wholechain works in our Alaska cod program.
In Cape Town, South Africa.
In Central Florida.
In Utah and the Pacific Northwest.
In India.
In Bristol Bay, Alaska.
Just across the country.
Wholechain is working with Sigfox globally.
We designed Wholechain to easily tell the story behind every product.
Wholechain works with Northline Seafoods in Alaska, helping us to trace millions of pounds of salmon as our fishermen offload them.
We like to showcase our fleet of freezer longline vessels and the hardworking fishermen that are on board. It's a great tool to tell that story from start to finish, and not only tell it, but actually prove it using the Wholechain application.
We've built a solution that adapts to some of the most challenging supply chains.
We use Wholechain to provide our consumers a reliable story of where our ingredients come from.
MasterCard and Wholechain are building trust across supply chains globally.
For greater transparency, at the click of a button.
We've lowered the barrier to access Wholechain traceability. Wholechain works on almost any device, is aligned with GS1 data standards, and is built for interoperability. And now we're offering a free tier to bring ultimate accessibility to first-mile producers so that they can capture hundreds of data points and share them with stakeholders many miles away. Our innovations don't stop there. We are adding inputs such as satellite monitoring and sensor data while digitizing supply chain finance and payments with MasterCard.
Wholechain has proved to be a cost-effective solution
to transform food.
Together, we're creating a future where honest and safe supply chains aren't just a standard we aim for. The journey starts here.
Hi, my name is TJ Gupta, and I'm the co-founder and CEO at TagOne LLC. My team and I are honored to have been chosen as a winner for the FDA's Traceability Challenge. A quick background about TagOne. We are a technology solutions company 100% focused on supply chain traceability. We've been tackling traceability challenges for over 15 years now across multiple industries like pharma, supplements, hemp, CBD, and of course now food and beverage. Over the last few years, our single-minded focus has been to build an easy-to-use cloud-based traceability solution that can address any scenario, big or small, simple or complex, for the natural products industry. The TagOne platform is the result of that hard work. Using a unique role-based architecture, the platform seamlessly ties together data and documents across the supply chain, giving us comprehensive source-to-table traceability. This is the core on which we have built our proposal for the FDA challenge. Our proposal is based on 2 core tenets and 6 simple process steps. Our first tenet is that companies across the supply chain can capture and share data via role-specific Excel or CSV files or a mobile app that are extremely easy to use. All that a customer needs to do is to sign up on the TagOne portal based on their supply chain role. Our second tenet is that data will be stored on an open source blockchain platform. Ours is a decentralized network that allows users to control the segregation of their public and private data. And public data is stored in all the nodes of the blockchain, while private data is stored only in the node assigned to the customer. The unique thing about our approach is that even companies not using TagOne can start their node on our blockchain and store their private data, which we believe is extremely critical for an open system like food. In our second video following this one, you'll find details of the 6 process steps in addition to a solution demo showing the use of the Excel sheets mentioned earlier. The FDA evaluated all solutions on 5 criteria as a part of the challenge: needs-based, innovative, usable, affordable, scalable, and interoperable. I want to close with what we believe are TagOne's key characteristics that hopefully checked all of these above boxes. 1. Role-based access, which users can relate to quickly. 2. Easy to use pre-built Excel or CSV files or mobile screens for data entry. 3. Open source blockchain architecture ensuring that no one party controls data access. Number 4. A flexible model that even allows companies not on the TagOne network to put data on our blockchain to ensure full traceability. And finally, focus on GS1 and other leading industry standards because interoperability holds the key to success for any good traceability system. Here's a video that explains more about our solution next. Thank you.
Hi, this is TJ Gupta from TagOne LLC. We're excited to submit our entry to FDA's Traceability Challenge. But before I jump into the demo, let me share these 2 slides first that will give you some context on our solution approach. This first slide on the screen talks about what the process will look like from a customer point of view, a customer who's going to use the system, who's signing up with TagOne to address their traceability needs. So as step 1, they will come to the TagOne portal, sign up, after which they'll be provided a login after the information validation. Thereafter, the customer goes in and will need to update their master data, their items, their business partners, their locations, etc., etc. Step 4 is the key step where customers will go in and upload the transaction data vis-a-vis these Excel templates which are pre-populated in the system based on the master data which they've already put in. And in step 5, TagOne will run validation checks to make sure that the data looks all right, and then push it to the blockchain, after which in the final step, we will run the traceability reports as and when they're needed from the TagOne blockchain. Moving ahead, let's talk about the specific demo scenario which we're addressing. So we've taken the same scenario which was shared with us before by the FDA when explaining the new rules. This is around a farmer called Tom's Produce who's growing and shipping cherry tomatoes to their first receiver, which is fresh processor, who then receives it, transforms it by adding iceberg lettuce and some other ingredients to the output item, which is salad, and then ships out this new transformed item, which is the salad kit, to the distributor, who then receives it, ships it without transformation to the retailer, who is then making this available for the end consumer consumption. So let me go into the system and show you how all this will look. And of course, given the fact that we only have 5 minutes, I won't be able to show all the transactions. I will just go into farmer and then finally the retailer. But the process is going to be the same. All right, so now let me try and log into the system as Tom's Farms with a separate login and try and upload this information. So I have 2 things which Tom's Farms is supposed to upload. One is the farm information, and second is the shipping information to their downstream partner, the processor or the first receiver. So I'm going to go to the Excel import functionality. I already have the template downloaded. I'm going to try and upload it now. Keep in mind that there is validation built in, some very basic validation, which might actually reject the data in case if it's not right. Some very basic validation. So let's see what happens now. I've uploaded the template. It's showing me invalid. So let's find out what the invalid entries are. I'm going to click here and I'm going to go into see details. It's showing me that the harvest item, not the planting item, is incorrect. So I'm going to go in there, select cherry down tomatoes and save, and hopefully this will work. Fantastic. It's working fine. I'm going to now basically this is saved. Then I can go in, similarly, go into the shipment Excel import and do the same thing. This is a shipment transaction, which looks different. I'm going to pick up the shipment file, which is a different file, and I'll basically ship it and I'll upload it. In this case, it's working perfectly fine. And if I want, I can go and check details. I can even go and edit in case I want to change anything. So I'm going to get out of the farm. So the next step is the processor. We don't have time to show you everything else. The processor will receive. Then they will add iceberg lettuce on other items to create basically the salad kit. And then the processor will ship it out to a distributor who will then receive and then finally ship it out to the retailer. So let me go in and log in as the retailer who's received the final salad kit with the new lot number from the distributor and see what happened there. So I'm not going to show you all the details. All I'm going to do is to go into the reporting and try and see the end-to-end traceability report. So I'm going to go in here, choose the garden salad kit, select a lot number which I know has the information, and click view report. And here we go. We see the end-to-end traceability. And if I want to go in and go into more details, I can slice and dice this information. I can also go into the tabular view to see if there is more information I need. It will track all the specific information all the way back to the farm, assuming the information was captured and shared. That's all we wanted to show here. Hopefully this has been useful, but anything else, please do let us know. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. My name is Charmeen Khan, and I'm the founder and chief marketing officer of OpsSmart Global. OpsSmart stands for Operations Smart. With our software, you get traceability, transparency, and trust. Below are a list of some of our clients that we currently use our software. Our offices are based in Vienna, Virginia, and Bangkok, Thailand. To the right are a list of some of my team members. Before we can define the solution, it's always good to know what our problem is. So the food industry is faced with food safety issues causing 48 million people to get sick every year. 128,000 of those are hospitalized. 3,000 of those die, which leads to financial loss. $6 billion is caused by disease. 10 million is caused by recall costs, which is of course expected with a complex food supply chain that we live in. Leaving lots of room for food fraud and transparency issues. The solution, of course, is to connect the consumer to the retailer, to the processor, to the shipper, to the grower, and back again to the top. Of course, each step of that supply chain is triggered with data that cannot be captured, and when we go to do recalls, it's impossible to capture that information unless there is a traceability system involved. The evaluation criteria were need-based, innovation, usability, affordability, scalability, and interoperability. OpsSmart meets all those needs as well as the needs of all the industry segments that were required: primary producer, importer, manufacturer and processor, distributor, retailer, and the food service. Our software is scalable and sustainable, which means regardless of the size of your business, whether you're a small farmer or large corporation, our software is sustainable. We grow with you and within any industry, whether you're growing a tomato, chicken, or farming fish. Our software is unique to your solution. We configure it to meet your needs, and so it is unique to your processes, and it is integrated with you regardless of whether you're using an ERP solution, a custom software, an Excel sheet, or an SAP solution. I hope you enjoyed the presentation. Please stay tuned for the video that details OpsSmart's recall system. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Charmeen Khan, and I'm the co-founder and chief marketing officer of OpsSmart Global. OpsSmart is a food safety and traceability software company with 15 years of experience. Our software is configurable within any size business and within any food industry. There are many ways of inputting data into OpsSmart. Here you can see that it's being done by a barcode reader. Just scan the barcode and the master data will automatically populate the system. Then the user can fill in any necessary data and hit save. Of course, the data can also manually be entered or uploaded from an Excel file if needed. It's extremely handy when you're on the farm floor or a processing plant, and it works on all devices. An alert and notification system is part of OpsSmart. They can be set up to pop up on a schedule, a weekly, daily schedule to ensure the task is done, or they can be set up as alerts to inform a customer to stop a production process to fix it fix an issue that might have come up. For instance, an IoT temperature gauge might be telling them that the chicken is below the temperature required limits, and to stop the production, check the chicken. Make sure you catch the mistake now instead of having to go back and fix a costly mistake. So alerts and notifications are highly important and part of the system. They can also be adjusted to regulatory requirements or customer requirements. Once a production is done and a package leaves the facility and heads to a retailer or a wholesaler, all the related data that has been captured by OpsSmart so far, such as the farm details, harvesting, production, lot, batch numbers, wholesaler information, location, GPS codes, they're all stored within the barcode. And it can be retrieved by quickly scanning the barcode by a user or by the FDA. Lastly, the customer is able to scan the QR or barcode on the product to view the product information and all the safety certifications to ensure the product's quality before they purchase it. Let's say a customer purchases a pack of chicken and finds that there's an odd smell. All she or he has to do is scan the barcode on the chicken package and select Report to FDA, fill out the form, and press Send. Once the FDA receives the report, they can contact the farmer or the producer to investigate and start a recall process, a digital recall process. Once receiving the message, the FDA and the farmer and the producer could quickly trace and search the specific lot or batch that has the problem. Now, these searches can be done backwards or forwards or across. A backwards trace would mean that it would select from the process and go all the way back to the beginning where the process began. Tracing it forward means that you start at that particular point in the process and move forward all the way to the end, or all the way to the end of the processing line. A trace across is the entire trace of the entire chain. The transaction data displayed below a trace chain in a table format can be rearranged and sorted as needed. In case there are more than two activities that need to be traced, you can choose a step backwards or a step forwards, which means that you take one step forwards and one step back. Please be aware as you look at this that each icon within the trace is a process. Each red number on top of these icons is a record of the process, and each arrow that connects the two processes provides detail between the relationship of the two icons. Producers can also trace the reported lot numbers, batch numbers, and investigate and then issue recalls to the retailers, wholesalers, and the customers. Business intelligence reporting, or BI reporting, is also a part of OpsSmart's offerings. It helps producers see the production overview, marketing analysis, contamination forecasts, etc. The BI report is, of course, configured according to customers' requirements. In this example, a BI report shows dynamically how the GPS or the area where the chicken is being sold, it has a problem. OpsSmart provides complete interoperability. We are GS1 compliant, cloud-based, and blockchain agnostic. OpsSmart can provide a low-cost, tech-enabled traceability solution for producers, importers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dan Dole, CEO of Mojix. I would like to start with an introduction to Mojix. We're a next-generation SaaS platform for item-level supply chain management. We capture tracking event data from items and lots throughout their individual and unique life cycles. We call this item chain management. We've been selling serialization and tracking solutions since 2004 and are currently tracking over 6 billion events per month. We have deep domain expertise in the field, working with the biggest names in retail, luxury, and manufacturing on a worldwide basis. Today, we're bringing that deep domain expertise in capturing critical tracking event capture as well as key data elements to the food industry, enabling both operational efficiency and food safety. Traceability and transparency have been the holy grail of supply chain for the last 40 years. All the data already exists. The problem is that this data is siloed, not shared, not organized, and not standardized. So how do we get the most important stakeholders, the growers, the fishers, the first receivers, the transformers to share this critical data? The only way is to make it free. Using a free app and data import features to upload critical tracking events and related key data elements into a cloud-based traceability platform. The platform uses APIs and GS1 industry standards and allows other traceability platforms to share data so that a string of tracking events can be linked together, provide both downstream and upstream item and lot level traceability on a global basis. Traceability across an $8 trillion a year global food industry is too massive and too complex for any one software company to solve. It will require multiple traceability platform vendors sharing and linking data sourced from farmers, harvesters, packagers, distributors, and retailers from around the globe. In short, we're presenting more than a platform. It's an open item chain with no boundaries. The use of GS1 standards makes it interoperable, and the use of multi-tenant SaaS architecture makes it secure and scalable. To conclude, we're honored to learn that we are a solution that was selected as a winner of this challenge. Our solution is particularly adapted to food safety, compliance, and regulation enforcement. But what's even better is we're not just offering a tool, we're changing the paradigm. Mojix has built a solution that addresses the real-world concerns of adoption and interoperability, and is supported by a creative financial model that can sustain the solution as well as the industry for years to come. Now here's a brief video about our solution.
Mojix presents the first open item chain for the food industry. Meet our item, a king salmon caught in the open waters of Alaska. Within our chain, this salmon has its own universal ID, which can be associated with a lot number. Every time our salmon is packed, shipped, or transformed and separated into parts, all the KDEs and CTEs are forever associated with this original ID. Ignoring the unaffected foods, recalls can laser in on exact items at lightning speed. How does it work? It's simple. With no more than a smartphone, the grower, fishery, or first transformer creates an item at no cost. DCs, processors, wholesalers attach information to the salmon thanks to a digital link. This link helps stakeholders see the previous event before registering the new one. In turn, everyone benefits from the data collected with different degrees of privacy. There are no missing links. The data is reliable. Everyone's accountable. A facts-based traceability policy can now be enforced. Our open network is inspired by the existing GS1 GDSN, synchronizing data coming from multiple sources and acting as a global repository, because food trade and its risks are global. The multi-tenant technical architecture hits the right balance between data privacy and data sharing. Its traceability and interoperability at no cost for the regulator and those who supply the data. And it's supported by all the organizations who create value-added services based on this data. Well, what happened to our king salmon? Caught by a tiny local fishery, it was certified for global trade. Regulators now have free and direct access to data for problem resolution and rule enforcement. Liability-free food brands, QSRs, and retailers grow their customer loyalty and their price points. Research, knowledge, and financial industries use the data for commodity markets perspective analysis. And the open network welcomes all third-party vendors to build their solutions. The data fragmentation problem is solved. Every event is made relevant. Farm to fork is a reality. Item for Food by Mojix.
Now, let's have a look. To create an item, nothing could be easier. Everything begins upon the collection of the item. We can scan the label of the crate and automatically create its birth certificate with the key data elements in the lot identifier. The information is ready to be printed with any low-tech equipment at hand. It can also remain virtual to be associated with a lot number. This universal ID is forever traceable by all the stakeholders who can continue attaching information to it throughout the supply chain. Now that the item is created, we're ready to ship it. We choose a destination and we scan the crates. With the ship module, the crates can be scanned by collecting their lot identifier via their label. The destination is recorded at every step of the distribution. This completes the shipping process. Now, let's see how we can identify an existing item. Again, a simple smartphone will do very well. We can trace our item all the way back to its origin. But we can also scan a processed item for transparency and recall purposes. The scan module can trace back to the list of ingredients and can help us find exactly where our item is coming from. Hence, we can trace back and isolate the faulty original ingredients in processed foods.
I want to thank the FDA for putting together this traceability challenge because it takes more than a single company to solve this problem.
Companies will save money and save lives and give consumers that transparency that they've desired for so many years.
Our solution is able to capture, stitch together, and expose unique critical tracking events via a simple, intuitive cloud implementation.
We create a network of platforms interlink with a URL type of technology.
Anyone can publish data, anyone can get data. This is the future of consumer safety, and the future is happening now.
Hi, I'm Frederick Clulo with Kezzler, and we would like to thank the FDA for this wonderful initiative. At Kezzler, we have over 20 years creating unique digital identities to link data from production all the way to consumption. We understand that end-to-end traceability is complicated, so we do this by employing technology that minimizes the impact of data scalability and a platform's usability on any operation. And that is the mindset that we try to bring into this challenge. Our proposal is built around a private, open market ecosystem of cloud-based platforms that allows farmers to generate unique identities for their products through self-service portals. They would in turn use progressive web applications from their phone browser to link those identities with relevant data, such as the variety of produce or date and location of harvest. Some of this information, such as date and location, could be automatically captured, minimizing user friction and increasing quality of data with no to little effort. The so-called minimum viable data would be standardized to ensure baseline uniformity regardless of provider or operation. The data collected is meant to be kept at the lowest amount needed for traceability to minimize addition to workload or hindrance to the harvest or packing process. After all, time is money, and any additional step required on the field will increase indirect costs for the operations. We propose to use GS1 standards to structure data formats and ensure interoperability between all providers. In particular, we will propose using the GS1 digital link, which would also allow consumers to access the sourcing information collected by scanning the code on the product, therefore creating a simple but useful farm-to-fork traceability capability. Now, instead of enacting a massive transfer of all providers and products to a single repository entity, these decentralized databases would be queryable on demand by a centralized platform or redirecting service through the unique identifier. I'm sure this type of concept may seem somewhat familiar to those who have dealt with PTI, but we believe this is a far more lightweight, cost-efficient approach that delivers an easier track-back capability to the FDA. The predominant friction to wide adoption of traceability in the industry is cost and complexity of technology. So going into this, our main objective was to maintain total cost of ownership for the grower at a minimum. And we believe this can be achieved by reusing commonly available off-the-shelf technologies and standards. In the same vein, because we look at leveraging smartphones for data capture and association, we aim to use infrastructure that is already available in everybody's pocket. At the same time, the information collected by these platforms would be sent back in the form of reports to the users, allowing them to move towards digitization of their own records. Finally, because we believe in a decentralized, open market, competitive environment where any provider can participate in, we are confident that this will increase scalability by reducing load on providers while also promoting transparent market pricing for the benefit of all. Now, please enjoy this video further explaining our solution.
Our solution proposes a vendor-agnostic paradigm built on a standardized, interoperable data framework. We suggest making available self-service portals where farms can download product identifier. These identifiers will be used to link to streamlined data regardless of product type. Minimum data would include information identifying the farms in the field, the automatic acquisition of geolocation, product information, and harvest or pack date. To associate the specific identifiers with relevant data, providers would deploy a progressive web app accessible free of charge. With smartphones being ubiquitous, this provides a hardware baseline that should not result in added cost to the farms. Beyond that minimum, providers would be free to offer their own applications with extensible services. The FDA would operate an overarching system for the retrieval of data independent of technology vendor. This database would not hold all data, but would redirect to a specific repository based on an item's identifier, retrieving product information on demand. This service would be used to facilitate information sharing with any relevant party within the national supply chain, be it retailers, grocers, logistics, or consumers, and in support of any recall process. Finally, code generators will make the data they collect available to farms through automated reports in a structured format serving as a form of digital record, helpful for those farms which may not have transitioned to a paperless model. We envision unique identifiers being requested ahead of time through simple yet secure portals. Once an account is created and properly vetted, small farms would only need to log in and request the number of identifiers they require. Information identifying the grower, farm, or plot subdivision could already be associated at the time of user creation. It would also be possible for the user to predefine what product type the identifiers will be placed on, minimizing the number of steps and time required to associate data packing. Unique identifiers would be downloaded in a file in a commonly used printing format, such as CSV, for the user to use or distribute as required for printing on labels, cartons, or clamshells. Data acquisition during packing would be as streamlined as possible to limit interference with the operations. As shown here, a field operator's task would be limited to selecting the specific product if this information has not been previously entered at the time of UID generation. Any other information would have been previously associated with the identifier or automatically captured. Please note that while in this demo we are scanning simple alphanumeric strings, our recommendation is to use the GS1 digital link as a standard identifier format. While technology vendors should be free to offer complete mobile applications, we do highly suggest requiring browser-friendly versions called progressive web apps to be made available, as demonstrated here. PWAs are websites that look and behave just like a mobile app, but run from a browser. This minimizes infrastructure and technology requirements for small farms. While PWAs may not have all the bells and whistles of a full mobile experience, their capabilities should be sufficient to enable data acquisition at scale. Once information has been associated with an identifier, it is stored and synchronized with a cloud-based repository. Scanning the identifier retrieves all data that has been tied to the product during code generation and packaging. What is more, the same universal architecture can be optionally leveraged to enrich the dataset and allow supply chain and retail participants to add metadata to the identifier that could prove relevant in the event of a recall. Harvest, packing, or optionally distribution information would be aggregated in a cloud-based repository where it would be merged with the additional data that has been connected to the identifier at the time of generation. These so-called level 4 systems would be responsible for storing and managing overall data, but would be queryable on demand and in near real time through the unique identifier by a superseding level 5 system managed by the FDA. Having an open market, vendor-agnostic ecosystem minimizes single point of failure and promotes competition.
Hi, I'm John Pennington, CEO and founder of Rfider Limited. We're a software company passionate not only about supply chains, but also helping the food industry create safer, more sustainable food supplies. Rfider attracts innovative thinkers from diverse backgrounds who love collaborating on complex problems and coming up with new solutions which can be easily adopted. And the supply chain is certainly one area where there's a lot of problems to solve. Collecting and sharing records along the supply chain has simply been too time-consuming, costly, and error-prone, and too difficult. We went back to the drawing board to address each of these barriers and have engineered a whole new platform with new tools to make collecting and safely sharing data a lot more efficiently. And we've also allowed that data to be surfaced easily for competitive advantage. And with the Rfider platform and nearly any mobile device with a camera, data can be collected, secured, and selectively shared with exactly who needs to see it. And when it comes to recalls and product alerts, that's just done in a couple of clicks. So how did we meet the FDA's challenge criteria? Well, firstly, we've made collecting data a lot faster and a lot easier. We've put tools into the hands of field services workers to allow them to collect that information. And because we've developed a platform from the ground up, we've made it easy to implement, and it can be up and running and used by small to medium businesses without IT staff. And we've also made Rfider very cost effective. It's available as a monthly subscription, and because it's easy to set up, the setup fees are, well, they're low. Our software is super easy to configure. We've developed a web interface that allows you to configure your collection activities in a very, very easy, intuitive way. We've developed out-of-the-box mobile-first tools to make the data collection really easily done. And last but not least, we've made it easy to integrate Rfider into your existing systems of record, whether that's a simple spreadsheet or even a connection into IBM's Food Trust blockchain ecosystem. And because we run in the cloud, scalability and availability is never an issue. And really, let's not forget about the consumer. Rfider makes it easy to collect and share all of that detailed information back to consumers and allows them to get real-time updates such as your product alerts, all within an intuitive interface which doesn't require an app download and can be accessed via your browser. Well, thank you for this opportunity to share the Rfider platform with you, and we look forward to talking with you in the future and hope you enjoy our solution video. Thank you. Value is created as food products move along the supply chain from paddock to plate. Literally hundreds of tasks are carried out in a product's journey, and the data from these come together to form the unique story and history behind every item we consume. Now, this story is so important for so many reasons, from safety, incident response, to reducing waste and maintaining trust in our food supply. But collecting and sharing this information, as we all know, is a major challenge. The team and I here at Rfider are on a mission to address these challenges and allow food producers of all sizes to compete on traceability. So let's get started. We're developing modern tools to make collecting the traceability event data quick and easy. We've also developed a sophisticated data sharing and collaboration framework. And last but not least, we've made it easy to share these item histories with consumers in very meaningful ways. Let's take a quick platform tour to show you just how easy it is for time-poor and resource-constrained producers and other supply chain participants to collect and manage their traceability data using the Rfider platform. With our administrative portal, producers can set up and manage their product traceability and digital experience requirements. It has an intuitive interface that allows the easy setup and configuration of supply chains for products, including any traceability data requirements and data capture tasks along the way. These tasks will be presented to team members at the right place and right time via Rfider's mobile app and stored in the Rfider platform when completed. The platform is also suitable for managing any automated event data that a larger producer may use, such as cold store data from IoT sensors or RFID tag scan when a product may enter or leave a warehouse, for example. The Rfider solution comes with a mobile app. This is a really powerful field services tool which can do a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to getting tasks done and capturing better quality data faster. We call it FS1. FS1 instantly identifies products through either NFC, barcodes and QR codes and presents users with the tasks that are relevant for a product at any given step in the supply chain. It's secure, easy to use, requires no training, is multi-language, and comes with a catalog of food traceability tasks. Bespoke tasks can be configured in the portal and also made available across the supply chain to team members. But when you're collecting so much data, you also want to make sure that you're managing in ways that are compliant and also efficient. All data stored in the Rfider platform is stored with bank-level security and encryption standards. Rfider also allows different event types to be retained for different periods of time, depending on regulation and other requirements. Administrators can also configure webhooks to share events with other systems if required, and we also have some really easy-to-use download features. By providing the tools to tell the unique story behind every item produced, we're allowing producers to reconnect with consumers and meet the market's growing demand for greater transparency. With the Rfider platform, consumers can retrace products' unique journeys, view select traceability data, perform real-time checks for recalls, and generally make better usage decisions, all without the need for an app or any coding, just a scan of a QR code with their smartphone camera. They can also view certified carbon emissions for transportation of the brand in hand from source, allowing them to make even more sustainable choices. We are passionate about and committed to creating a safe and scalable food supply for today and generations to come. To make this a reality, we'll continue to provide our powerful cloud-based tools at a price point accessible to businesses of any size, and to allow costs to be distributed fairly across the supply chain. Welcome to a smarter food supply chain where traceability meets experience. We hope you've enjoyed this quick introduction to our platform.
Hi everyone, my name is Lee Chen and I'm the product lead here at Freshly Commerce. And I'm joined by Basil, who's my co-founder and technical lead. In May of last year, our team won the Shopify App Challenge, which aimed to help retailers address the new realities of the world due to the pandemic. And since then, we've grown to serve over 1,000 Shopify merchants who sell food and beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and more. From speaking to our retailers, manufacturers, and distributors, we found that many spent hours updating and tracking batches on error-prone spreadsheets that were detached from their inventory systems. And this meant that they lacked accurate data needed to quickly find important information during recalls. To address this problem, we built Freshly, a traceability and batch tracking software for small businesses. With Freshly, retailers can quickly collect batch, order, and customer information, as well as leverage industry-recognized best practices using GS1 standards. Freshly also allows users to track batches, track expiry dates, and fulfill orders using the first expire, first out, or first in, first out methods. What's more is that users can automatically discount batches as they near their expiry dates to increase profit margins and reduce food waste. Freshly is also the only traceability app in the Shopify ecosystem that seamlessly integrates with existing inventory and fulfillment workflows across online stores and point-of-sale systems. Our most popular plan is just $24 per month, eliminating the cost barrier for small businesses to adopt traceability systems. In terms of the technical design of our application, Freshly was built with interoperability in mind since day one. Shopify's API design allows merchants to easily grant access and share relevant details with stakeholders across the supply chain. Since Freshly is built on top of Shopify's simple data model, we can easily standardize data and extend the capabilities of Freshly to more e-commerce platforms and brick-and-mortar shops. Freshly is also built on top of proven and scalable technologies, allowing us to serve hundreds of thousands of users worldwide while being extremely cost-effective. We also have a lot more in store for our users. The first is to make data entry easier, and that's why we're building tools to scan invoices and purchase orders, to automatically extract relevant batch details, quantities, and supplier data. Second, we want to allow stakeholders across the food supply chain to tap into traceability data. We plan to make this data standardized and accessible through the Ethereum blockchain with the use of smart contracts. Next, we'll show you how Freshly works today.
Freshly is a batch tracking and traceability tool designed for small retailers, distributors, and manufacturers. Last year, as consumers shifted massively to online grocery shopping, we found that there was a gap in affordable tools that met both traceability needs and promoted adoption among small businesses. Today, Freshly has hundreds of Shopify merchants around the world tracking perishable products like baby food, organic produce, seafood, and more. Next, I'll walk through a few scenarios as a retailer at City Acres Market who uses Freshly for both e-commerce and point-of-sale operations. As a retailer, I can install and use Freshly for free on the Shopify App Store. As soon as I install Freshly, all my products and other information such as vendors, barcodes, and SKUs are automatically synced to my Shopify store. I can immediately start adding batches to my products, or I can bulk import or edit them all at once. Now that I've created all my batches, my staff and I can start packing orders. As my customers buy products through my point of sale and my e-commerce shop, Freshly automatically assigns batches to orders using first expire, first out, or first in, first out method. I can also manually assign batches using a future expiry date for my wholesale orders and print my order packing slips so that my staff and I can pick the right orders from the right batches. In case of a recall, I can quickly search for the product and its batches using any product identifiers. I can quickly identify and notify the customers who bought the recalled products and gather the additional details such as quantity received from vendor, quantity sold, and quantity remaining on hand. By creating a strong foundation in data collection while promoting adoption through an affordable and easy-to-use software, we can further promote the use of the Global Trade Identification Number to increase visibility of food at each point in the supply chain. As my product batches reach their use-by date, I can specify how far in advance I'd like them to be removed from inventory. I can also set discount rules to my batches so that they're always sold days in advance to reduce waste while increasing my profits. I can send notifications to myself and my team to keep informed on my discounted and expiring product batches. All of these inventory activities are accurately logged in my product and batch history. A similar workflow can be followed by brands, distributors, or manufacturers who might sell directly to consumers or sell wholesale. They also have the option to share the product batch details via an API to other segments in their supply chain. With the popularity of Freshly among Shopify merchants, our future plans include making Freshly available to more small retailers, distributors, and manufacturers that sell through other channels. With key data elements, Freshly will be able to link together all tracking information that allows smaller businesses to achieve the same level of rigor in food safety and traceability that are available to their larger counterparts. Want to learn more about what you can do with Freshly? Simply install and use it for free, or visit us at getfreshly.io.
Good afternoon. My name is Jason Grimm. I'm the Executive Director of the Iowa Valley Resource Conservation and Development in Amana, Iowa. We are a 501c3 nonprofit located in the eastern half of the state near Iowa City. Our mission is to grow local economies, strengthen food systems, and foster the protection and enhancement of natural resources. Today I'm here to introduce you to the tool we call FarmTabs that we developed in collaboration with our colleague Dr. Anuj Mittal at Dunwoody College in Minneapolis, Minnesota. FarmTabs is a free downloadable software run on Microsoft Excel that helps small to mid-sized farmers manage records for traceability and other farm-related metrics. FarmTabs is a very special tool to our organization as it was developed for our own 5-acre farm we call Grow Johnson County. Today, Grow Johnson County grows food on the 5 acres and freely distributes them to 13 agencies within our community for charitable food production, including food pantries, food banks, and free meal programs. In addition to FarmTabs being used in our own operation, FarmTabs has also been tested and improved by other partnering farms in our community over the last 2 years. FarmTabs was developed based on the concept of generating unique activity IDs for the harvesting, packing, and shipping to ensure traceability. FarmTabs met the FDA challenge because it records 2 critical elements during the growing and shipping stages. FarmTabs is also able to assist in conducting either a mock recall or, in the real situation, a real recall. FarmTabs is available at no cost and is easily adaptable to farmers' own naming conventions. For example, a farm's crop names, their field or bed codes, or even staff names and more on their farms. FarmTabs runs on Excel, a commonly used tool among farmers. It can also act as an enterprising planning system for farmers, such as crop planning, and can be customizable for other food businesses such as food hubs, food entrepreneurs, and other manufacturers of food. Today, our staff is providing one-on-one coaching to farmers through our Clean Start program to assist them while developing a food safety plan and implementing FarmTabs into their traceability procedures. FarmTabs will be available next month as an open source tool through a Creative Commons license on our website. Thank you to the FDA for recognizing our tool, and please enjoy the video following this presentation about how FarmTabs works. As well as please reach out with any questions following these presentations. Thank you.
FarmTabs is a free and open source tool designed to help farmers meet federal food traceability regulations as per the Food Safety Modernization Act. As per the recent blueprint for the new era of smarter food safety released by FDA, FarmTabs help farmers track key data elements for 2 critical tracking elements: growing and shipping. FarmTabs enables farmers to input their own custom data such as crop names, lot codes, grades for crops, among others. Farmers can enter their own price for their products, which automatically feed into the process of generating invoices for customers at the time of placing an order. In addition, customer data can also be stored so that the farmer can easily add or delete them from the tool. Thus, FarmTabs can adapt to each farmer's own naming conventions and pricing. FarmTabs uses 3 logs, namely harvest log, pack log, and delivery log, to enable the collection of key data elements for growing and shipping. Once the crop is harvested, data is first entered in the harvest log, which includes date of harvest, crop name, lot code from where the crop is harvested, any observation while harvesting, and initials of the harvesting personnel. A unique combination of these data points is recorded with a unique harvest ID. Farmers can print labels for a particular harvest ID and place them on the storage bins. Similar to the harvest log, the pack log auto-generates a unique pack ID for each packing activity that is a combination of following characteristics: harvest ID, which feeds from the harvest log, grades of the crop, standard pack size, quantity, and initials of the packing personnel. Different pack IDs can have same harvest ID, as a harvested product can be packed on a different date. Therefore, the pack ID isolates packing and harvesting processes, enabling more accurate recalls. Further, the pack log enables the generation of labels with packing details for easy identification. Next, The delivery log acts as an order management system and requires entering customer name, quantity of each crop ordered, cost of each product, and initials of the personnel entering the order. On clicking the Confirm Order button, the system asks for confirmation if the delivery vehicle is clean and initials of the delivery driver. A unique order ID is created once the order is confirmed. The delivery log also allows for generation of labels as required for the order, for easy identification. The order ID isolates the shipping process from the packing and harvesting activities, thus enabling further accurate recalls. Historical Data tab in FarmTabs stores data for each order ID. This order ID along with other details of the order are shared in the form of an invoice with the customer. Each entry in the database contains comprehensive information of a product starting from harvesting to shipping stage to achieve accurate traceability by one step backward and forward within the supply chain. Produce from a specific contaminated lot at the farm can be recalled by applying specific filters within the historical database and delivery labels with associated activity IDs. FarmTabs also helps farmers meet the traceability requirements and conduct a mock recall, necessary for GAP certification. It includes other value-added features to help farmers in their day-to-day operations. FarmTabs has been implemented since 2019 on our 5-acre farm by recording key data elements for items such as leafy greens, melons and peppers. Our team is providing coaching to farmers to help them integrate FarmTabs into their operations and in return receiving feedback and integrating changes. In fall 2021, FarmTabs along with user guide will be released freely to the public. FarmTabs is developed by a team of engineers, farmers, and researchers. For any questions, please contact us at support@farmtabs.org. Thank you for watching this video.
Hello everyone. It is our honor and privilege to be selected a winner, and thank the FDA for sponsoring and coordinating this challenge. Our team is a consortia of 3 businesses to include Roambee, providing their real-time supply chain visibility platform for verifiable chain of control across all transport. Wiliot is providing traceability of animals and crops using their innovative IoT pixel tags and their cloud-based platform. And GSM, the visionaries behind the solution. They are providing end-to-end systems integration in the food traceability cloud software. What our solution provides is end-to-end traceability from farm to dinner plate. To explain one use case within that spectrum, let's follow a cow from farm to fork. When our example cow is born, she is fitted with a Wiliot Pixel Smart Tag for location tracking using the Internet of Things, or IoT. These tags cost less than 10 cents, can be read from a distance of up to 60 feet, and require no battery, as they harvest power from radio waves. Every animal and all farm equipment are fitted with tags, and low-cost gateways are installed across the farm. When the cow enters the field to graze, it is automatically logged, and the feed she has consumed are added to her blockchain record in the GSM Food Traceability Cloud. When the cow is ready, she is sent to the slaughterhouse, where a gateway reads her tag and logs her in, and highlights the need to handle her in accordance with UK requirements as she is due to be exported there. The beef is loaded into export containers fitted with Roambee sensors, which monitor the container's location, temperature, humidity, and any potential tampering along the way, which simplifies logistics, importing, and food safety. When the beef is packed as steaks, a new blockchain record is created for each pack, linking back to the cow's record, and a tag is applied. Later, a customer arrives at his local supermarket and sees the cow steak for sale. He's intrigued. He has read about the recent UK-US trade agreement and the clever use of tech. His smartphone reads the tag and learns about how his steak was raised and transported, the Texas farm where the cow came from, and even her carbon footprint. It turns out to be an interesting talking point at dinner that night, and soon the story of the cow and the U.S.'s innovative food traceability tech is making its way across social media. Our solution met the evaluation criteria in 5 areas. We address the needs of all 5 parts of the value chain with a highly usable and automated solution. We made innovative use of IoT, artificial intelligence, and blockchain. Our solution is not only low cost, but also saves money and generates income. And finally, the tech we are using is highly scalable while being open and interoperable. We'd love to hear from potential partners and customers to join us on the journey. Now, please enjoy our video that further explains our solution. Thank you.
The fragmented nature of the modern agri-food industry means that tracking the origin of our food can be difficult. Our unique platform, coupled with genuine, breakout technology, delivers a true end-to-end solution. Let's look at the major challenges. 1. Price point. Our smart label costs a few cents. It is commercially viable for even low-cost items. 2. Food asset data is often paper-based. Our system eliminates paperwork through the use of automation, artificial intelligence, and immutable data storage. 3. Outdated audit processes. Our system incorporates sensors with automated escalation. Our audit process is fully automated and a complete audit trail is enshrined permanently. 4. Errors and fraud. Our solution uses an immutable record, driven by actual data. Errors are significantly reduced and alteration is virtually impossible. 5. When an outbreak occurs, it can be difficult to make it evident. We crowdsource outbreaks. The artificial intelligence engine spots patterns and correlations, from farm to consumer. Outbreaks are escalated rapidly through our consumer network. And we can do it in real time. 24 hours a day. 7 days a week. Let's take a look at our consumer-facing application in the next video.
It is not easy to eat healthily. Doing so is being made harder by current food labeling. Current EU requirements that food products are clearly and uniformly labeled and indicate when foods are high in salt, sugar and fats are only voluntary, so some manufacturers choose not to bother. Consumers are being given a bewildering range of information about nutrition, ingredients and the origin of their food. Allergy labeling has been in place for some years and requires that any major allergens used in the product are clearly listed. But how the word clearly is defined and interpreted is an issue which can have life-changing consequences. Although retail packaging has lists of ingredients, they can be printed in up to 15 languages, in extremely small print, and may even be tucked under the fold of the wrapper. They can be all but impossible to read. Not being able to read a label easily, or being misled by the packaging into believing the product is safe when it is not, can have tragic consequences. At GSM, we have developed a simpler and clearer way to understand what you are eating. Our near-field communications label, coupled with our mobile application, will allow you to know your food like never before.
Welcome to the live Q&A portion of our webinar. I am Andy Kennedy, co-lead for the new era on tech-enabled traceability. Today we have members of the 12 winning teams organized in 3 groups. Since we only have 20 minutes, we ask that everyone keep their responses brief. So let's start with our first group. Welcome, Group 1. So we received a few public comments and questions here. So I want to kind of lay them out so you have them in mind as you answer your questions. So one question, folks want to know if your solutions are GS1 compliant.
Also, if any of your solutions use decentralized networks or blockchain. And then third, people were wondering what's the biggest challenge to implement ubiquitous, cost-effective global food traceability. So keep those in mind as we go through these questions. So first up, we've got Max from Atma. With all of these critical tracking events and item-level data in the platform, what type of insights or data analytics can you offer to stakeholders in the supply chain and consumers?
Great question, Andy. The key is with all this data that we're capturing is now let's actually use that to tell us something about our supply chain. So some examples of that would include being able to know where are the bottlenecks in your supply chain, where there could potentially be situations that may trigger an increased likelihood of a recall. And those are all examples once you've turned on the data and have something like the Atma Cloud to be able to track that information and then know, okay, I have this data, let me ask a question of it.
Great, thanks. And in terms of your compatibility with GS1 standards, and do you use blockchain?
Yep. So yes, we use the GS1 global data model and GS1 digital link as a means of creating these unique serialized identities. We also do connect into decentralized ledgers, and this was a collaboration with MasterCard's Provenance blockchain to write all those different events. So yes.
Great, thanks. Great. What were the biggest obstacles you found when trying to build a ground-level traceability tool?
Yeah, good question. So the biggest thing for us right away was that we needed it to be really easy to use, especially in the field. And a lot of our team members have backgrounds in agriculture, so we were literally spending time out in the field. We would work alongside a foreman and see what questions they had, what they needed help with, and really developed based on that. Because, we had foremen who were over 60 who had never used a smartphone before. So that really informed how we developed HeavyConnect.
Great. And in terms of, blockchain or GS1 standards, do you deploy those in your solution?
Yeah, so we are GS1 compliant, and we're really flexible, so we offer verified APIs. We have APIs with Ozterra, SAP, and Global Gap, and, developing more all the time.
Great, thanks. So Abdullah from Precise, can you tell us more about the analytical capabilities of your solution? And also, is it GS1 compliant? Are you using blockchain? And what are some of the challenges in it sounds like your tool is very widely adopted. What were some of the challenges in growing that out?
Yeah, so I'll hit the analytics portion first. So we offer two types of analytics primarily. So one is network analytics, where you're looking at a map of your supply chain, and you can do a lot of investigative analysis to figure out, backward tracing, forward tracing to identify what nodes affect what. So if you have an outbreak or an anomaly in the network, you're able to trace that using that network analysis portion. The other type of analysis we do are sort of BI matrix and dashboard aligned stuff. So you can do statistical analysis to look at your supply chain, how many records you're processing, et cetera. And as we go forward, we're connecting those two together so that you can use our AI and machine learning technology to also build connections between these two types of data, right? And so I think that'll continue to enrich the data and analytical experience on our platform. As far as blockchain go, we do not use decentralized ledgers. We prefer a more standardized model that's tested over time. And we are, of course, fully GS1 compliant. In fact, one of the big pieces of our solution is that you can use the GS1 convert it into the CTE and KDE reports that might be coming through in the near future. As far as challenges go, it's true our solution is widely adopted. I think the biggest challenges for us was to figure out when, particularly with the food industry and with this challenge in specific, particularly this challenge was what technologies to use. We work with a lot of different technologies and to decide, okay, which ones provide the right synergy to address this challenge.
Great. And Mark,
in your experience as a user of traceability in sustainable sourcing, as well as a provider of traceability services across commodities, can you give us some insight into that business case and kind of your experience as a end user?
Absolutely, and thank you, Andy. So the business case really is, and this also applies to our other partners across commodities, first and foremost is to drive sales, meeting the consumer demand for traceability. Secondly is to achieve a price premium on products to incentivize the supply chain stakeholders for participation. Verifying ESG claims has become even more important recently. And this is something others have discussed, to efficiently really mitigate and respond to shocks in supply chains like outbreaks, recalls, and some mislabelings. So that really summarizes the business case for traceability. And,
great. And is your solution, do you work with GS1 standards and blockchain? And what were some of the challenges in growing your solution?
Yeah, we do. And something that we're looking at for the future is really leveraging GS1 standards, particularly EPCIS and Digital Link, to expand interoperability to more systems and really advocate for more traceability. We do leverage decentralized technology similar to Max. We partner with the MasterCard blockchain solution. And then really our biggest obstacle was we focused on using our backgrounds in mobile technology on the first mile and really achieving connectivity for small-scale producers particularly.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for joining the challenge, and we're excited about all your solutions. And we wish you well rolling out traceability from here. So let's welcome group number 2. I'll bring those folks in. Okay, welcome group number 2. So if you, just to refresh you with some of the public questions that we received, one question was, are your solutions GS1 compliant or compatible? Do your solutions make use of decentralized networks or blockchain? And then, in terms of growing your traceability solution, making it ubiquitous, what are some of the biggest challenges? So Charmaine, I'm going to start off with you. So thinking about those kind of questions in the background, what makes OpsSmart unique?
So what makes OpsSmart unique is that our software is soft-coded. So it makes it much easier for us to go to market. So once we speak with a customer or a client, we don't go back to the drawing board and start from scratch again. We use our platform that is already there, and we build on portions of it in order to meet their needs. So it makes it much faster, it makes it much more affordable, and a quicker way of providing the software to everyone. As far as GS1, we are absolutely GS1 compliant. And blockchain, we are an agnostic platform, so we do not comply to one blockchain and limit our customer and get them stuck into one price point. We are blockchain agnostic, and we can work across the board with any blockchain because of interoperability. However, we don't even need blockchain because OpsSmart is a platform that works above any blockchain, so we can work with and without it, depending on what the client needs.
Great. And in terms of scaling your solution, it looks like, looking at the video, you're already global. So, we're interested in what are some of the challenges you foresee to continue to scale, and how are you overcoming those challenges?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenges is that we need to be able to reach the small farmer, because often when you speak about tech words like traceability and interoperability, I think you alienate the small farmer, which is the majority of our food industry. So I think the biggest challenge is to be able to provide the small farmer and the consumer access to technology and let them know that this is easily accessible, not something that they need to
spend gazillions of dollars for that this can be done. It is reachable. All you need is a smart device, which we all have in our pockets. And as long as they have a way of transmitting data, some sort of a broadband, some type of a cell tower system, they're good. They're good to go. So I think that is what we are working on, is to reach every single farm in America. And I think that's what's most important.
Great. Thank you. And TJ, can you elaborate what you mean when you say TagOne is running on an open blockchain platform, and how is this different from any other blockchain solution?
Absolutely, Andy. So in our view, one of the keys to success for the traceability program in our food supply chain will be how open we can keep the ecosystem. So companies across the supply chain, you're talking about nearly 500,000 of them, and this is only for these 10 products on the food traceability list, would have the option to choose their own traceability system, right? But without compromising on the sanctity of data, which we all as an industry need to ensure farm-to-table traceability. So this is the reason we're proposing an open source blockchain platform where no one party controls the data access, where participating companies can control the segregation of their public and private data, where public data is stored in all the nodes of the blockchain, while private data will be stored only on the nodes assigned to the customer. And then the interesting part is that companies that don't even use TagOne, they can start their own node on our blockchain and store their data exclusively on their node. So just to summarize the thought process, Andy, we absolutely believe that companies and solution providers across the industry over the coming years will ultimately need to collaborate and create shared value for everyone. That's the only way we in the food supply chain can survive and be successful.
Great, thank you for that. And in terms of your usage of standards, GS1 standards, and looking out some of your ways that you're going to scale your solution.
So absolutely. So GS1, we are GS1 compliant. In fact, we are a GS1 innovation partner. We've been working with them for over 15 years now. Before food, we've been working with them in the pharma industry. So talking about scaling the solution, the biggest learning we've had, Andy, has been how to make the balance between the pragmatic and the coolness. Because at the end of the day, we can put blockchain, we can put the coolest technology on earth, have these cool mobile phones. But to Shameen's earlier point, when we start working with farmers and even the SMEs, they don't care about this. The majority of time we've been spending with them has been educating them on standards and educating them on, how do you create the item master here? How do you create a location master? How do you create a customer master? So it's more going back to basics with them rather than anything else. So for us, it's us all in the industry. We have to get together to educate everybody. That's the only way all of us will help the industry scale. It's not about TagOne scaling. It's about all of us scaling.
Excellent. Thank you, TJ. So, Frederick, you mentioned the consumer could scan the code on the product. What would that accomplish?
Well, that's a great question. I think consumers in general are becoming a lot more sensitive to the transparency and sourcing of the products that they consume every day. So what we're trying to achieve with that is really provide additional guarantee and assurance to the consumer, being able to grab any item off the shelf and be able to have that assurance as to where the product comes from, and aggregate a lot of the information that you might be able to get, let's say, at the source of the product, at the farm, and so forth, and digitize that and make it available to the consumer at the drop of a hat.
And how do you see scaling your solution, and do GS1 standards or blockchain play a role?
So absolutely. So we ourselves are not blockchain, but we are blockchain ready. We're blockchain compatible, so we can export a lot of the information up to a distributed ledger. But as far as using GS1 standards, we really do believe that GS1 standards would be the baseline for any traceability solution that you would implement. In fact, we foresee the solution that we propose working well, aligning well with BTI, which is entirely GS1 based. So GS1 standards would provide really just the framework and just the entire structure for any sort of end-to-end traceability solution.
Great, thanks, Frederick. So Dana, tell us a little bit about Mojix, what makes it different, and also kind of your take on growth and standards and blockchain.
Sure. Yeah, I think what makes us different is that we really are focused on open collaboration amongst, I think if you listen to all of these presentations that were given, everyone has really good ideas, and there's a lot of people that have really good data and really good relationships with suppliers and producers and retailers already. I think what's different about us is that we want to embrace that fragmentation and figure out a way to collaborate the data across all of these different parties. And so having an open platform with open APIs using GS1 industry standards is a way to link data from disparate sources together. That's really the core of our solution. Whether it's blockchain, if one of the data pools happens to be written on a blockchain substrate, great, but it's really tech stack agnostic. It really focuses on APIs and not what the underlying data storage and repository is. And so I think that's really what differentiates us in sort of our proposed solution. In terms of what we think of as the challenges, the first mile of serialization is always the hardest, and no matter what industry you're in, working through that first data capture, that first mile is always particularly hard. But then there's the challenges amongst the data linking as well when you capture that data at the first mile. So we really see that as the challenge, and we think that has to be as frictionless as possible. There's lots of ways to do it, some great ideas in capturing that data, ranging from smart spreadsheets, as we've seen, all the way to more sophisticated apps. And whatever that data capture system is, we think that data needs to get into open data pools that can be shared and linked together with downstream providers that are adding new and additional critical tracking events to the ledger of this individual item.
Great. Well, thanks, Group 2. And in the interest of time, we're going to move to Group 3. So the first question up for John Pennington for Rfider is, we're interested in how your platform can be used beyond traceability.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. Great question. Look, everybody here is working tirelessly to make the collection of traceability data a lot easier, and we know there's a lot of effort still required from producers to really get the benefit out of that. But there's a lot of extended benefits through adopting better traceability. If you think around the data that's collected, it can be used to enhance your business process and your products. There's basically unlimited opportunities to innovate in your customer experience. And also a lot of the tools shown here today, including Rfider, really provide a chance to modernize the tools that you're putting in the hands of your employees. So everybody's used to using mobile phones in their day-to-day lives. We're providing great tools to enable people to get work done quicker with really familiar tools that are enjoyable to use.
And we received a question from the audience. How are these products actually enabling farmers and producers to make actionable decisions?
Well, you've got real-time information flowing between supply chain participants, so that enables you to address any issues as they come along. It also enables you to standardize a number of the tasks. So, for example, if you've got a quality assurance process at one step, you can replicate that at another step and have that information shared directly. So any issues can be addressed quickly, and as we move to smarter contracts, we'll be able to get those things closing out a lot quicker as well with that flow of data.
Perfect, thanks. Basil at Freshly Commerce. If I was a retailer, could Freshly trace the products sold to my customers who buy from my physical and online stores? And also a question came in, could you also explain how you cost your solution? Like what would it cost me to participate on your platform?
Yeah, great question, Eddie. So for the first part about online and
in store. So Freshly is able to track products for both brick and mortar and online stores, and it's able to get the customer data right from your online orders. If you're collecting emails or phone numbers when selling through your point of sale system, then our point of sale through our point of sale integration, this data is accessible for your in-store purchases as well. So if there's ever a recall, all of this data is readily accessible right through the app. Also, these processes are automated as well, but you can manually override them. And for your second question, the cost of the service, we have a freemium plan. So we have, for anyone tracking less than 10 products in their store, it's completely free. And we start off from $24, go up to $200 for the enterprise plan. So we have customers from small retail stores, mom and pop shops, to large companies doing deliveries, like food delivery or meal kits across like a nationwide service. So we sort of cater to all sorts of customers and merchants.
Well, that's excellent. And now going to the other end of the food supply chain, Jason, with FarmTabs, how have you seen that actually improve your farm's record keeping and traceability procedures? And what sort of actionable decisions have you made from the data that you received from that solution?
Yeah, thanks for the question. Our solution has improved our ability from going our nonprofit and very small farm, going from all paper logs, making a lot of mistakes between staff members entering things inconsistently, to having consistent processes. Like John mentioned, we're now able to have a standard process that makes it easier to train staff as new members come onto the team. And we've made decisions about new varieties to grow versus varieties that did not produce the same yields as others. So we're making in-season decisions from spring and fall succession crops to improve our business year to year.
Great. Thank you so much, Jason. Scott, go over to you. What IoT technologies are you using to capture information about crops and livestock?
Thanks, Andrew. So we are an end-to-end solution that automates the process using IoT. The types of IoT technology we have include direct-to-cloud technologies using 4G, 5G, Cat-M, and narrowband technologies, as well as Bluetooth technologies that can connect to a gateway, either with a embedded battery that can last for years, or the really innovative Pixel Smart Tag that is batteryless and is energized through the air by radio waves that provides a very low price point.
And I'm curious, do you use blockchain technology, GS1 standards in that solution?
We do. So we are a consortia of 3 companies, Roambee, Wiliot, and GSM. On the Roambee side, because we do so much of pharmaceutical monitoring, including for one of the biggest COVID-19 vaccine manufacturers, we are already part of the GS1 community and built to those standards, as well as the Food Traceability Cloud has been. On the blockchain side, we do use blockchain technology. We try not to, I think as other people have said, not to put that at the forefront to scare people off. So we do have the ability to have the distributed ledgers for the verification sake.
Great. Well, as you can see, the traceability challenge attracted solutions from one end of the supply chain to the other and all points in between. So thank you for group 3 and great answers. And thank you all to the audience today for joining. So I wanted to, I just want to thank everyone, our teams, our judges, and all those involved in making the challenge a success. Special thanks to our colleagues with Precision FDA who hosted this challenge, for partnering with us and supporting this effort every step of the way. This challenge started a new conversation around developing low-cost and no-cost traceability solutions. Thanks to these 12 teams, we are now seeing affordable solutions, some even at no cost, and we know that affordability will pave the way for adoption. If you'd like more information, learn more about what we're doing with the new era of smart food safety, you can subscribe to the newsletter on fda.gov. You can also follow us on Twitter or LinkedIn. And again, thank you for joining today. We hope you found this informative and motivational.